How do we know what we're actually experiencing? Let's look at 3 types of sacred connections. The first one, soulmates. And these are our companions, lovers, friends, even family, who walk beside us with ease and resonance. They bring us peace, support, and mutual healing. The second is karmic partners, and these are intense. They show up with friction, with emotion, often with pain. But they come to burn away illusion, to help us resolve old contracts and release what no longer serves us. And the third is the twin flames. And they're not the other half of our soul. They are a mirror of our essence. Their presence reflects what is unhealed, and often they trigger awakening. But union with them is not always romantic, unfortunately, and it is rarely peaceful. Their purpose is soul evolution, not romantic fulfillment. So here's what really matters. What measures a divine relationship is not how intense it feels, but how free we feel inside it. So let's read it again. The measure of a divine relationship is not how intense it feels, but how free we feel inside it. And that's really a very important measure to determine the relationship, if it's divine or if it's just an ordinary human relationship masked with a spiritual cover. So a true connection will never ask you to abandon yourself. It will never ask you or make you doubt your inner voice. It will never use love as a leash and control. So instead it feels like shared values between both, not just chemistry. Respect, freedom, and personal sovereignty. Peaceful grounding, even through challenges. And a deep sense of homecoming, just feeling at home, that we belong. So, something to keep in mind. No true flame asks you to burn yourself to keep them warm. If it dims you, if it confuses you, if it drains you, it's not your flame. Your real flame is inside of you, and it's steady, whole, and deeply wise. All right, now let's take a deep breath together. And this session now will invite us into the shadows. Not to fear them, but to name them. To dissolve them into the light. To free ourselves from their grip. Because innocent hearts, especially empaths and light walkers, can sometimes be deceived, not by darkness, but by those who wear the costume of light. There are people who use spiritual language, beautiful words, like twin flame, divine feminine, or we are destined, not to uplift, but to seduce, dominate, and control. They say, help me ascend. They say, we are sacred partners, you owe me. But these are not truth of the heart. They are weapons of emotional guilt, wrapped in sacred words, and empty of true spirit. We must learn to recognize when someone is not our mirror, but our lesson. We must become guardians of our own light. So let's understand what we're dealing with. So what is the narcissistic personality disorder? And it's something that we encounter quite a bit, and we kind of got used to it, or it got used to its existence, this phenomenon. But we need to really focus and look at it now in a little bit more detail and see what is it about. So a person with narcissistic qualities may appear very attractive, magnetic, and charming at first. And then after a while, behind that lies a really fragile ego that feeds on power and the energy from others, but it doesn't feed on the partnership itself. So their main qualities are a grandiose sense of self-importance, exploiting others for personal gain, a lack of empathy that's very predominant, and it's a very clear way to recognize that, especially emotional empathy. It's just lacking, they just don't have it. They have a fragile self-worth masked by superiority. So they constantly show themselves as superior, bring all kinds of evidence that how great, how wonderful they are, because they have a fragile self-worth in their essence, in their core. So we will find them coming and using roles like being a guru, a twin flame, or claiming that they are a twin flame, or a healer. So they bypass the responsibility. They can give themselves more credibility by taking these roles. So this is how narcissistic abuse often unfolds. They have a certain way that you would recognize it. When you see the pattern like that, you would recognize immediately that this is a narcissistic type of person. So they do something what is called the love bombing. They just give you this love and care and attention and warmth and like flood you with that. So you just open up and feel great. After that, they start devaluation. They start showing where your weak points are, criticizing everything you do, showing that nothing you would do is perfect, and that starts the confusion. And once this confusion is established, they have control. So yeah, they would flatter you, just give you these warm, wonderful feelings, and they will talk about destiny or how both of you are just incredible twin flames and you have a destiny together. And they will activate your dreams and your fantasies intentionally. But slowly, you will start to feel confused, and you will feel off-balanced. And then you will feel drained. And then you will start being afraid to say no. They will guilt you. They use guilt a lot. And it's a method of establishing this control. They will twist your words. So they will tell you you said things that you really didn't say. Gaslighting, they call it. And they will try to shift your reality and make you believe things that really didn't happen, or that you didn't say or do. And then they may ask you for money in that process while this is happening. They will ask you for time, they will ask you for your energy, for your devotion. But they will never honor your truth. They will just never acknowledge that. And worst of all, they will make you doubt your own intuition. And that's where the confusion is about. Your intuition is telling you one thing, but the evidence and what these people are doing is completely telling something totally different. So we start to doubt our own intuition. So if someone uses your kindness or spiritual beliefs against you, they are not your mirror. They are your test. And if a relationship causes confusion, anxiety, or shrinking of your soul, it is not sacred. It is not divine. A true partner, even a true twin, may challenge your ego, but they will never crush your spirit. divine union never demands the sacrifice of your dignity. So let's find out what are the signs that we're dealing with a narcissist and it's not a twin flame relationship. So you would feel anxious, you would feel confused, or you feel less than your true self when you're around them. They manipulate your time, energy, or your finances. And they will disappear when you start to set boundaries. They will shame you with lines like, "You're not awakened enough," "You're not spiritual enough." However, your intuition whispers to you, something isn't right. So ask yourself, do I feel safe to say no? Do I feel free to speak my truth? Do I feel smaller in this connection? Do I feel loved or controlled? Does this person honor my light or try to own it? Am I expanding or am I being drained? Does this love make me feel more like myself or less? So if these questions trigger discomfort, you should trust that. That's your inner truth that's telling you exactly the truth of the situation and the reality. So your divine clarity, the part of you that cannot be fooled, is holding up a mirror in front of you right now. And it's whispering, sacred union does not require the sacrifice of your soul. True love does not demand that you bleed to prove your devotion. You are here to awaken, not to be used as fuel for another's ego. So if it feels like chaos, it is not divine. If it drains your energy, it is not love. If it demands obedience, it is not destiny. You're not here to be claimed by others. You are here to be claimed by your own truth. So let your light remain sovereign. Let your heart remain whole. Let your soul remain yours. So what does resonance feel like? And what is really beyond the fantasizing that we have about a twin flame? Let's take another deep breath together. And this time let our awareness settle gently in our heart. But not the heart that is longing for a twin flame connection, but the heart that knows the truth, the clear heart. So let's connect with this radiant light within, the part of us that remembers the truth before there was any illusions. The part of us that whispers softly, "You were never incomplete." So one of the most important lessons in the journey of love, especially for those of us walking the spiritual path, is learning to distinguish longing from intuition. Because real soul connection doesn't pull us into chaos. It leads us into stillness. An emotional peace, not obsession, is the true sign of divine union. Yes, real twin flame encounters may be challenging. They may stretch us, but they are never abusive. They do not confuse, and they do not consume. If the experience breaks your spirit, it is not divine. If it violates your sacred space, it is not the truth. A real soul mirror may confront your shadows, but they will never crush your light. So how do we recognize divine resonance without falling into fantasy? So let's start with this. The true twin will challenge your ego, but not exploit your pain. They will honor your boundaries, not test them. They will evolve with you, not ask you to descend. They walk beside your soul's ascension. They do not pull you backwards into pain. So here's what divine resonance feels like. A peaceful presence, even in hard moments. A deep inner knowing, but not obsession. Respect for your timing and truth. No pressure, no rushing, and no confusion. It feels like stillness, and it feels like home. The resonance with the twin flame, you'll find that they will encourage your evolution, not your dependency. They will speak clearly, without guilt or distortion. They will feel like a mirror, not a master. Divine union doesn't need to overpower you. It reflects you. It meets you. Resonance feels like peace, not obsession. Expansion, not contraction. Steadiness, not emotional chaos. If your nervous system is calm, that's resonance. If your body relaxes around them, that's truth. So many seekers fall in love, not with the person in front of them, but with the idea of who that person might become. This is called projection, and it often comes from unmet needs, old wounds, or longing for divine union, misplaced onto a charismatic, unsuitable person, unfortunately. But the truth is this: inner alignment comes first. The flame you seek is already inside you. So let's ask ourselves some real questions. Am I in love with them, or with who I imagine they could be? Does my body relax when I think of them, or does it tighten? Am I receiving truth or chasing a fantasy? You don't need to be rescued. You are here to remember. You are the flame. And those who truly walk with you will never dim your light to keep theirs burning. Okay, so let's take one more breath, deep breath together. Inhale gently and release it slowly. Now we're entering one of the deepest places of all. A place so many of us have been and maybe are still in it. To love and to be deceived is one of the deepest wounds. It's not just emotional, it touches something sacred in us. Especially when that love felt spiritual, when your purity, your openness was seen not as something to honor, but something to exploit. You trusted, you opened, and that is not weakness, that is your beauty. You are not broken for believing in love. You are not foolish for trusting. You are divine, and your ability to love so purely is part of your strength. The heart that was lied to is the heart that will teach others how to see. But now, that love must be balanced. balance with discernment, and with boundaries, with a strength that may once have been anger or rage, but now transmuted into clarity. This is your time to reclaim the self that was scattered, to gather back the light you gave away in longing. You are not foolish, you are loving. But love must now include wisdom.
Yeah.
So let these words sink deeply. It is safe to love, but not at the cost of your dignity. You can release the illusion and still honor the part of you that hoped. You can be kind and clear, gentle and fierce, loving and sovereign. So here are 4 gentle steps to begin again. Healing the wounded heart. Step 1, release shame. Let go of the shame for having loved someone who could not love you in return. 2, cut the cords. Sever all energetic ties of deception, the ones that still bind you in guilt, fantasy, or confusion. 3, call back your light. Gather your energy and soul fragments from every place you gave them away in confusion or hope. 4, affirm your truth. Stand again in your full light with grace and unwavering truth. You may also wish to write these words down. To the one who could not love me, I now release the illusion I called love. And I released it. Then you can burn it, bury it, or let it dissolve. Then build an inner sanctuary, a space where your inner twin and your divine self meet. Not to search for love, but to become it. Okay, you can whisper now to yourself if you feel called to it. I no longer romanticize my pain. My heart is healed and wise. I trust divine timing. I am already whole, and from wholeness I attract truth. And now feel this. The divine flame within. Timeless, indestructible, and pure. It rises in you again. You are no longer seeking love, you are becoming it. I am the flame, I need not seek. I remember. I am the flame, I need not seek. I remember. Thank you and blessings. So, if there's any questions or comments or experiences that you wish to share, yeah, please do that.
I have a question, Akmal.
Yes, Cynthia. Hi.
Does it happen sometimes that you feel so much compassion for those people that you have that you wish that you could help them, and but unfortunately there's nothing you can do, and sometimes it pains you? It happens.
Yeah, that's the side effect of being a beautiful, strong empath. But I think we can just turn down a little bit that sensitivity and understand that they came here to experience what they are experiencing right now. It's not something that is bad per se. I mean, it can be painful, and when we look at it, we feel their pain, but actually it's part of their journey. So we can just look at them, say, you really chose a very interesting life, you know, or you're in a different phase in your life that requires this kind of processing. So bless you, just send them love, but really try not to take that pain and then start feeling the pain yourself. We drain ourselves so much when we do that. So yeah, this is classical, yeah, this is empathic beauty, you know. So yeah, thank you, Cynthia.
I'm wondering if you could comment at all on the topic of soul families, soul family mandalas, because people talk about this idea of a soul family mandala, and I'm wondering, when I hear that, I sometimes wonder if there's different soul families, and if it's like a fractal thing, and if these different soul family mandalas actually interconnect to form like one mandala. Obviously, that would form like the mandala of source and unity and you know, oneness. And it's just an interesting concept. I'm just wondering if you have any thoughts on that.
Yeah, thank you, Patrick. Well, a mandala is a fractal, really. And a fractal is a point that starts, or a pattern that starts, and then it multiplies and multiplies and multiplies. It's different scales of one core. So that division that is happening is still resonating harmoniously with all the scales and the phases that's going through, but it's all connected. That's completely separate, in a sense, than another cluster, but all of them would connect to the source in a way. So that one group or one mandala fractal aspect is really where it unites certain people. It's, in other words, in your life, you know, or even take a month of your time and examine the type of people that you will interact with, while there's floods of other people that you never even touch, you never even talk with. So why did we interact with only this few people and not the others? Because these are the ones that are part of our cluster. The resonance there allowed us to communicate and interact for a purpose. So yeah, a soul family or a soul cluster like that is those around us that will be part of our path, where we share with each other, affect each other, teach, learn from one another, and so on. And it's really a hierarchy in a sense, like the closer we get to the source, the more we are getting into more and more into, you know, soulmates, and then twin flame, and then source. You know, it's kind of like that. The closeness provides us with this real touching, people that really touch deep, or distance, not as deep. And all that depends on where we're heading within this mandala. Are we heading to the center, or are we moving to the outside? So in a way, that's a visual representation of how that relationship would be.
Yes, there's questions.
Sure.
Someone say that he feel that I have learned a lot, and I feel that the cases mentioned not only occur in intimacy relationships such as couples, but also in other relationships such as parents and children. I want to apply the method taught by the teacher to the healing of parent-child relationship, but what if parents can't stay away?
My understanding from the question is that that behavior, that narcissistic behavior, is not only in the intimate relationships. That's global. That happens everywhere. You meet people in the street, you meet people in the store, you meet people at business, in work. This is a human phenomenon. You have the empaths, and then their 180 degree is the narcissistic people. And the narcissist would be feeding off the compassion and empathy of the empathic people. That's their they can be interlinked this way, so they connect always. You would find that the narcissist would look for and seek empathic people because they make just the perfect dinner for them, you know, a perfect meal, energetic meal for them. They love that. So yes, you will find you can apply this principle to any type of relationship. If you ask the questions that we outlined here, how do I feel in the presence of these people? Are these people bringing me up or they're dimming me down? These kind of questions, you will apply that to anywhere. And in that case, you will recognize that this is a narcissistic type of relationship. And then in this case, we follow the method that we have, the questions that we ask ourselves, returning back to our center and our flame, and releasing and cutting cords and recognizing that these people are not the truth. So it's not only soul twin flames as a romance, it's everywhere. You can apply this everywhere.
Okay, thank you. Very good explanation. There's another question. How to heal a past life connection, like romantic relationship, which goes back to ancient Egypt that seems to be appear as a vision since childhood?
Yes. That's part of the process that we can share probably next time, one of the next sessions we have, which is cutting the cords and gathering the soul fragments that that got separated from some of these relationships that we encountered, whether in this life or previous lives. Because at the end, time is really not the way we think it is. Everything is now. And past is a fractal, is an aspect of our existence, and it has an effect. So trauma that happened in a parallel life or a past life, or a genetic lineage kind of memory, can be cleared by the process of soul integration. There is a process for that is very important. And we, in a way, we did part of it tonight in our meditation, where we gathered back the parts of our soul that was left within painful love experiences that we experienced in this life. So the process will be expanding that to include past lives as well. And that will clear a trauma that could be rippling and vibrating through to the present time.
So I think there's another question. I think it's very important. Is how to really love ourselves in intimacy relationship.
First, I think we have to love ourselves independent of another person in our life, and really that is the key. If we feel that we always need someone in our life for us to feel fulfilled, like that commercial concept of twin flames, you know, that without them we are missing, we are incomplete, and we need them to complete ourselves, that is sold to us to make us always walk through life believing that we are incomplete and we are missing, and then they sell you an illusion that you will never achieve, and then you're walking in life like feeling that you're half yourself. That's a strategy for someone who really wants to dominate and control people and keep them weak, you know. But if we integrate with ourselves, connect with the source, with the universe, with God, whatever term you want to use, and you become fulfilled and complete this way, and you have this love, eternal love that's connected with you, first of all, you will attract someone that will be on the same resonance, and you now know how to distinguish between that and someone who is playing games or narcissist and something like that. So we will be able to attract the right people when we're in that resonance. And certainly then, once you are in this kind of relationship, it's just gonna bloom and be incredible. So first step certainly will have to be just to feel that love complete within ourselves, and knowing that we don't need somebody to complete it for us. And then once that is there, we will attract the right partner, and then it will just multiply.
So I think there's a last question. I think it's very everyone, like, they are interested. They're talking about the parents' love, the parents, the childhood, and someone say, they had very terrible relationship with parents. They feel that their love is conditional, and they feel that their parents don't care them. They hurt them, and like how can they stay away from their parents, or build a healthy connection with their parents? And they had very terrible relationship with their parents, with their fathers, like how to do it.
Yeah, that's a really very deep lesson. Incredible. But let us just pull ourselves out of the emotional intensity and trauma of that situation. Let's connect with our soul, with our universe, with our higher self, and look at the situation with these parents, with our parents that did that to us. Nothing like that happens just by random or because they're evil people. It really doesn't work this way. As a soul coming to this world, we came to develop certain qualities and learn certain qualities that will help us progress in our spiritual maturity and our spiritual journey throughout the different lives that we experience. So these parents were the teachers that needed to come and be really hard on us to recognize that there's something called unconditional love. I mean, one way of knowing that there is light is to experience darkness, right? So one way to recognize what unconditional love is about is to experience the opposite of it, which is the lack of it. And I think looking at it this way, we can actually view them as great teachers, because our friend is here now expressing that, recognizing that, and we are discussing that. That came as a result of that experience with their parents. So if they grew up in a loving or just a normal kind of family without this type of trauma or lack of love, they will probably be just some other person somewhere doing something else and not really focused on this spiritual evolution that we are here, gathered here to share. So they actually brought our friend to this moment where they recognizing the difference between the unconditional love or the lack of it. And then those with a broken heart who experienced this lack of love will be the ones who can share the light with others and share the love with others much greater than others who didn't experience that. So in a way, it's painful as it is, but it was really the necessary lesson to bring us to the point to achieve the soul mission and the soul purpose that it came here to achieve. It needed to learn this harsh lesson to be able to continue. That's why it came here. So we're not victims, and we bless them, and we bless our parents who did that to us. Send them back love, because that's the only thing that we can do. Don't send them resentment or hurt or pain or feel like you're a victim. No, send them love and appreciation, and that's it. And they have their karma as well, and they have their lessons as well, and we don't have to get engaged with that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I think that's it. It's perfect.
Beautiful, thank you. Thank you all, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And for our friends in China, I think it's time for bed, I guess. So enjoy the week, and we'll see you again next time. Thank you so much, Amber, for coordinating this, and thank you all for being present. It's always a pleasure to be among our family, soul family.
Thank you. Thank you.